Okay, we're back. Hopefully you tried the Quizlet and you had some success with it. This is your second video on vertical angles. We're going to be still in the iReady instruction book, except this time we're going to be looking at the diagram on page 172. So page 172. So if you want to have your Chromebook next to you and have your book out if you have it at home, instruction book page 172, we've got this lovely diagram, right? So it says in the figure shown, it says what is the measure of ADC? So I kind of want you to find that angle at the end. So the bottom part talks about how you would solve for x. Well, we've kind of been doing that, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it. This part right here is a straight line, and it's showing that it's bisected into two angles. So remember we talked about those would be supplementary. So if you look in the book, they should actually show you an expression plus an expression equals 180, and they say x equals 62. So they've already found that x equals 62, which we spent a whole bunch of days on, okay? So we're going to look to the right on page 173, and we're going to work through the questions 2 through 7. So question number 2 says, how do you know that CDE, which is right here, so C to D to E, and EDF are supplementary? Well, I just kind of mentioned that, so if you were listening, you heard me say they're on a straight line. So number 2 is it's on a straight line. So straight lines equals 180 degrees. So you've got two angles that are on a straight line. It's 180 degrees. Number 3, how do you know that the measures of CDE and EDF add to 180? Well, again, they're on a straight line, right? So question number 3 is it's on a straight line, and the straight lines equals 180 degrees. So I'm really trying to drive home this point that these two angles are on a straight line and they add up to be 180 degrees. Number 4, give reasons for the steps to use and solve the equation right through. Okay, so they solved it for you on page 172. Number 5 says, since you know x equals 62, what are the measures of CDE and EDF? Okay, so they want you to substitute in here. So we've talked about that. So that's numbers 4 and 5. So they want you to use the expressions. So 2x plus 1. So anywhere you see an x, we're going to substitute in 62. So 2 times 62 plus 1. All right, so if you're not sure about what 2 times 62 is, do it over on the side. 62 times 2 gives you 124. 124 plus 1 is 125. So that's one of the angles. That's our obtuse angle. And we know the other one's going to be acute now. So I'm going to use my other expression, x minus 7. And remember, anywhere you see an x, you put in 62. So 62 minus 7. So again, if you're still having trouble doing this in your head, 62 minus 7, you got to borrow 55. 55 degrees. Okay, so that one says, what are the measures? So E to D to F is 55. That's our acute. And then CDE, our obtuse, is 125. So take a second. You can go ahead and mark those in your booklet. And then number 6. So if I was doing this not in the Ready book, but just like with you guys, I would add these two together to make sure I didn't make any mathematical mistakes. And they would have to add to 180 degrees, which they do. So I know that I did it correctly. I know that we solved for x to get 62 correctly, and I know I substituted in for x correctly and then evaluated correctly. So number 6 says, what is the measure of angle ADC? All right, so we have to find that on the diagram. So A to D to C. So that's that one that they had that question mark in the picture. So we need to figure out what it is, right? So remember, we started talking about vertical angles are across from each other and equal. So this angle is across from this other, remember, this is an acute angle. So that means it's vertical to another acute angle. So it has to be this other 55-degree angle. So number 6 is that angle ADC is also 55 degrees. And when you explain, you just say it is vertical to angle EDF. So remember, vertical means across from, and angle EDF is down here. Which means if CDE is 125, what is ADF? So that's not on there, but we could figure it out, right? So if this is 55 degrees, you can tell me what this one is, right? Remember, acute across from acute, obtuse across from obtuse. This one's also 125. Says, what facts about angles can you use to find the unknown angle measures? Okay, so there's two ways you could do it. One, the easiest way is knowing that these are vertical. The second way is you could know that this on a straight line is 180, and we could have also done 180 minus 125, and that would have given us 55. So that's a good way to confirm that if this is a straight line and we know part of it, this other section is 55. So two ways to do it. All right, so we're at about 6 minutes. We're going to look at just one more example. And this one's not in your book. I'm just going to kind of draw it, and you're going to see if you can identify what the vertical angles are. Hopefully you're thinking that these are a little easier, right, than what we've been doing. So let's say I have a line here, and it's intersected by a line this way, and then a line this way. Now I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Let's say that angle A is 110 degrees. Can you tell me what other angle is 110? So if it's obtuse, vertical angles are equal to another angle across from it. So obtuse has to be equal to obtuse, so angle D is going to be 110. And remember, they're on a straight line together, so if A and B together have to add up to 180 degrees, 180 minus the 110 gives you this acute angle over here. So B is 70 degrees. If B is 70 degrees, C also has to be 70 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at E, F, G, and H over here. If F is 130 degrees, what other angle is 130? Remember, it's obtuse, so angle G would be 130. And then I know if on a straight line there's 180 degrees, 180 minus 130 is 50. So 50 and 50. Vertical angles are across from each other. So your last little bit for today, your last assignment, is to go on Google Forms. This part is graded, so make sure that you've watched both videos, tried the Quizlet, get into Google Forms. You know if you're struggling. I'm on at 10 o'clock. Miss P is still on at 2 o'clock. Thursday's her last day, so make sure if you need an extra help session that you sign up. I'll still obviously be helping Thursday, Friday, but she's still here until Thursday. So hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to keep it nice and short for you, and get out and enjoy the day. It's beautiful. It's supposed to be beautiful on Wednesday. Bye, everyone.